Yo, what is going on, guys? It's ItsMoldgold here, and I know it looks like shit is flying everywhere, but don't worry, that is not shit, because that would be disgusting. I mean, honestly, the day shit flies, that's gonna suck. I'd rather be in a zombie apocalypse rather than having shit fly and hit you in the face. As you can see, this zombie right here is trying to anal penetrate my friend, but I said hell no and just sprayed him away. Thank God for that. Well, actually, no, it didn't really matter, because right now we are playing Call of Duty World at War Nazi Zombies with some mods. On the map, Shinonuma, bringing back some memories in a way, well, kind of, sort of, not really. But anyways, for this commentary, I was going to give you guys some tips on how to become a better gameplay commentator. This video is mainly for beginner commentators out there, the people that just start off, that are struggling, and just need some tips on how to improve or how to get better. So I'm hoping by the end of this video, it will help you guys out and you guys will become better commentators. That being said, I'm just going to jump right into this by telling you guys tip number one. The first tip is you're going to want to have a decent microphone. I am not saying that you're going to have to go out and buy the most expensive mic, but what I am saying is if your mic sounds like you're putting it up your ass when you're making your commentaries, that is not a good thing, and people do not want to hear I mean, it sounds like you just went into a wind tunnel. It sounds like you're literally taking the mic and pointing up your ass. Who knows, maybe someone else's ass. That is not a good thing, and people do not want to hear that. So what you could do is you can fix that by either A, buying a new microphone. I would recommend the Blue Snowball. It is a pretty expensive mic though. It goes for about $100. I got mine off Amazon for about $50, which is a pretty good deal, but still $50 for me at least is still a lot of money. I'm guessing it is for a lot of people watching this video. So you can either, spend a few extra dollars on a mic. I mean, if you're willing to spend the more money, you normally are going to get the better product, which means the more money you spend, the better the quality. But if you're, you don't want to spend too much money, what you could do is go on Google and type in amazing cheap microphones, and you'll probably find a link that will give you a list for some good mics for a cheap price. Also, if you have a Turtle Beach laying around, you could use those to make commentaries. In fact, one of my friends used to use that, and his commentaries actually had some pretty good quality. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty amazing. So I mean, if you have Turtle Beaches, those work just as well. You will still sound pretty professional. And yeah, so that being said, we are just gonna move on to tip number 2. So here we go. Tip number 2, be yourself. Holy titch, that is cray. No, I know that probably sounds stupid for many of you guys, but this is pretty important. I mean, when I first started doing commentaries, I would try to be very energetic, like I just got done snorting cocaine before I started the commentary. Like, for example, I'd start my videos off like, "Yo, what is up, guys? It's ItsMoldgold here. I'm so happy. Oh my god." I would either A, sound like a faggot, or B, sound like I was high on coke. That is not good, because when people watch your videos, they want to see the real you. They don't want to see a fake version of you, and they for sure do not want to see someone else. So if you're trying to act like another YouTuber, don't be. Be yourself. People subscribe to your channel, people watch your videos because they like who you are, not who someone else is. If they want to see someone else, they'll go on someone else's channel and subscribe to them. You're different, be different, alright? Also, when you're being yourself, remember to be confident. When you speak, you want to speak loud and proud. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to scream in your microphone and make everybody's ears bleed that are watching your video, but you want to speak loud and clear so everyone can understand you. You don't want to talk really quiet like this so people could barely understand what you're saying. And also, you do not want to mumble, and you're going to try not to slur your words. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is make a list when you're doing your commentaries. Now, I'm not saying to write down your full commentary on a sheet of paper and then just to read it off, because you should not do that, because you'll sound boring and you'll probably sound like a damn robot, and that is not good. Oh no, oh no, no. But what I'm saying you should do is write down bullet points of what you're going to be talking about in your video. For example, for this video, I wrote down a list myself. For bullet number 1, all I wrote down was good mic. That's it. And what that does is it triggers in my mind that that's what I'm going to talk about for the first tip or the first topic. Bullet number 2, I wrote down be yourself. bada bing, bada boom, that triggers in my mind that that's what I'm going to talk about. The reason I do this is it helps me keep my commentaries on track and it just helps me go in order. So that's tip number 3, is to make a list. Remember not to write down your full commentary. Don't waste your time. This is moving on to tip number 4, and this is probably the most important tip. Tip number 4 is to have a topic to talk about. Don't talk about the gameplay itself because that's boring. Anyone watching your video can see that shit. You know, who wants to watch, here I go, I'm just gonna run around, ba-doop-a-doop-doo, and oh, I seen a zombie in the window, boom, I shot him with this pistol grenade launcher. Holy shit, that's boring. People don't want to hear that. People like to hear interesting stories or interesting topics. The best advice I can give you for coming up with a topic is to tell a story. That's what I like to do. That's normally what my commentaries are. I tell you guys random stories. I find them to be pretty funny, and I hope that you guys do too. So if you're making the topic or you're trying to make a topic, you want the topic to be interesting. So I don't know if I should make this another tip or not, but actually, yeah, why not? This is going to be tip number 5. Make your topics very interesting. The best way to do this is to give detail. Here's a quick example. I have a pretty fat lip right now. No, I didn't get jumped. No, I didn't get my ass kicked. But what happened was I was playing football and I got kicked in the face. That's interesting but kind of boring. What you can do to make it more interesting is you put detail in it. So here we go. Here's that with detail. I was playing football on turf and I was chasing this kid down. We were flying down the field. He was in front of me. I went to go grab him, except I slipped and the back of his heel kicked me in the mouth. My lip, it got stuck to my brace and I had to tear my lip off from my brace. It started bleeding everywhere. It hurt pretty damn bad. When you're making your commentaries, try to make them so interesting in which the person watching your video, they don't need the gameplay to be entertained, but they will be entertained just by the commentary itself. So if you have a good commentary but a crappy gameplay, you should be fine because the person watching your video, they'll be hooked on your commentary and they'll want to keep listening and listening until the video is over with. So that is a good thing. That being said, we are going to move on to tip number 6, and what tip number 6 is trying to fix the ums and the uhs that you're probably going to have in your commentaries when you first start off. This is very difficult to do, but it does help if you fix this problem, because when you say or like if you're starting your videos off like, yo, what's up guys, it's Moldgold here and I am bringing you guys a commentary yeah, that doesn't sound professional and that is not good. Even if you're not professional, in which I am not, I try so hard not to say a lot because it doesn't sound cool. It sounds like you have no idea what you're talking about. Even if you do not know what you're talking about, at least try to sound like you know what you're talking about. So to fix this problem, you can just try your ass off and try to fix it so you don't say it, or you can do what I do sometimes, and that is just trim it out of the video, trim it out of the commentary, just cut it out. That helps a lot. So that's tip number 6, and what tip number 7 was for me is just to trim it up. Trim your commentaries up for when you fuck up here and there. You can just cut it off. If you lose your train of thought and you just have like a moment of silence where you're trying to think, just cut it out, trim it up. Make your commentaries as short as possible, get to the point as fast as possible, make them interesting, and yeah. So here we go, tip number 9, no, this is tip number 8, my bad, and tip number 8 is take your time. You're not rushed, don't feel rushed, just be yourself, take your time, have fun with it. For me, commentaries actually take a pretty long ass time to make. For some people, they could get it done on the first try. Me, it could take hundreds of tries. In fact, this commentary itself, this took over an hour. It almost took 2 hours for me to make, just because I just feel like when I do something, I'll make a little mistake, and when I make that little mistake, I feel like the commentary absolutely sucks, in which I am totally wrong. So that brings me to tip number 10. When you make a small mistake, just leave it in. We're human. Don't freaking worry about the little mistakes. You're human, like I said. You're not a robot with the plug sticking out of your ass. So we make mistakes. You're gonna mess up here and there. And yeah, so that's gonna bring us to tip number 9. No, this is tip number 10. So this is going to be the final tip, and this is probably the most important tip if you're trying to get better, is you're going to want to practice. Practice, practice, practice until you get better. I still need a lot of practice, I know, to become a better commentator, but I keep doing more commentaries, and that is how you practice. You do more commentaries. Even if your commentaries suck, when you do more, you get better. When I'm making my commentaries right now, I try to act like I'm talking to someone. I try to seem like I'm talking to one of my friends. Like right now, I am moving my hands right now, even though I'm talking to my computer screen, which, you know, when you first start off, it's weird. After a while of practice, it just, you feel comfortable doing it. So practice, practice, practice. That is the most important thing on how to become a better commentator. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope these tips helped. And yeah, if they did, please give this video a like. If they didn't, I apologize. And yeah, it's ItsMoldgold, and I will talk to you guys later.